This Albuquerque KOA is gated and locked up in the evening. You have to use a code to get in and out. Although you can just walk in behind a car when they open it, because that's what I did when I was walking Shrimpy last night. Every apartment complex in this neighborhood is gated. What is going on in Albuquerque that they need to do that? I even saw a dentist's office nearby that was not only gated, but the property was surrounded by razor wire. Dentists do have drugs on the premises, so there must be a bad drug epidemic here. So, what are your thoughts on pizza for supper? Yay or nay? Licked or chops, that's a yay. I do make an excellent Vanlife pizza. My favorite ingredients are minced garlic, artichoke, and chopped sun-dried tomatoes. Walmart was out of bobbly pizza crust, but the alternatives are all pretty good. I use ketchup on my pizza. Oh, just kidding, it's pizza sauce. I always look for plastic containers for everything. Glass jars in a moving van can end badly. The sauce is a little too bland for me, so I add some Italian spices. This is a Mueller toaster oven and it's great. I don't use a timer, I just check to see if the bottom of the crust is getting dark brown, and then I switch from bake to broil to brown the cheese a little bit. When I first got the van, I got a toaster oven that claimed to be low watt, which turned out to be a lie. It used more than the 800 watts it claimed. I don't need a low watt toaster oven anyway with a 3000 watt inverter. This toaster oven only uses a little over 1000 watts, which is typical. Look at that thing of beauty. Vanlife artichoke, garlic, and sun-dried tomato pizza. So last night I got a first-hand lesson as to why everything is locked up in Albuquerque. At midnight, Shrimpy woke me up. She let me know that someone was outside the van. I heard someone try the door. My van is locked 24/7 whether I'm in it or not, so I didn't panic. It sounded like they were trying to look in the windows too, but they're all covered at night. When the person came around to the rear of my van, I pulled back the curtain and banged down the window and scared them off. I could see that it was a woman. She was obviously trying to see if any of these RVs here in storage for the winter are unlocked, so she could steal whatever she could get her hands on. She mistakenly thought my van was unoccupied. I just felt like opening a window and warning her that she's going to get herself killed. This campground fills up at night. It's on I-40, so at night it's full of occupied RVs. Most of them have dogs that will warn their owners like mine did, and most of these people have weapons. The most popular question on every camping forum on the internet is, can I conceal and carry from state to state? It's a complicated answer. Usually people end up saying, I'm going to travel armed anyway, regardless of the different state laws. So she could end up getting shot. And for what? Some spare change she found in an RV couch cushion? Well, it's time to leave Albuquerque. It's the longest I've ever stayed at any one campground. I was wondering if at the end of the 2 weeks that I would want to stay longer or if I would be itching to move again. I'm definitely ready for some new scenery. Would I feel that way if I were staying at a campsite overlooking the Malibu beach? I think so. There's an adrenaline rush that I don't get when I'm static. Heading for Dallas, Texas. Never been there. We're in Santa Rosa, New Mexico at the Blue Hole, which is a natural artesian well. It was a water source for nomadic tribes and cowboys on cattle drives back in the day. This main pool of water is 80 feet deep. Then the underwater caves are about 200 feet deep under that. In 1976, some student divers got lost in the underwater caves and died down there, so the caves were sealed from the public. But in 2016, some very experienced elite divers got special permission to go down in those sealed caves, and they also died. Now the caves are permanently sealed. People can still scuba dive down there, but they just can't go in the caves. The air temperature is 50 degrees right now, but the water in the blue hole stays at a constant 62 degrees. Oh, she just jumped in. I got a campsite reserved in Tucumcari, New Mexico, which is a Route 66 town. I'll be looking for some roadside attractions. Route 66, Tucumcari. This is a sorry-looking town. Obviously didn't bounce back after I-40 was built and sent the traffic down a different route. I do see some worthwhile things, though, that I'll check out tomorrow. This Tucumcari KOA will deliver a hot breakfast to your campsite. Room service. Nice. I stayed at a campground in Maine that delivers a lobster to your campsite, so you can cook it over a campfire. Those are the kind of amenities that people will remember. Let's see what Tucumcari has for us this morning. This is the Route 66 monument here in Tucumcari. The part of the sculpture under the 66 is supposed to be the tail fin of a 1950s or 60s era car. Pretty cool. An old Route 66 gas station with a couple of murals and other things painted on. I'm getting a ghost town vibe. Looks like the guy that owns this gas station is using it as a shop. He came out and started a bitch at me about idiot tourists. I guess somebody in a camper hit the overhang when they tried to drive under it. Just block it off, man. The caption says, "Thank God for the rain," but it looks like he's thanking the dog. Maybe he's dyslexic. Thank dog for the rain. This mural is kind of a mixed bag. It seems like transportation is the theme, but then they throw in a tractor and a crumbling wall with a Route 66 sign on it. Huh. Gas station attendants wore bow ties back in the day. I'm sure the little housewife ironed his shirt. Wedding Brothers Gas had 40 gas stations on Route 66 at one time. They gave out stamps. They were like S&H green stamps type of thing. Fill up a booklet with stamps for a discount. I've about had my fill of gas stations, excuse the pun. At least this one's still in business. A cowboy looking at a Jackson Pollock painting. He took a wrong turn somewhere. The La Cita restaurant gave Route 66 travelers their first taste of Mexican food when it opened in 1940. Business was so good that they could afford the 30-foot tall sombrero in 1961. Looks like business is still good. The Blue Swallow Motel has been open since 1941. It boasted 100% refrigerated air. The man who bought it in the 1950s gave it to his fiancée as an engagement present. She ran the motel for 40 years. The rooms are furnished to look like they did in the 1950s. The people that bought it in 1998 restored it. Looks fantastic. TP Curios. This started as a gas station and grocery store in the 1940s. Now it's where you get your postcards and t-shirts, Indian jewelry and pottery. A concrete wigwam. If I were a kid on a road trip, I'd be especially excited to see this. Love the bus mural. This place was renovated and restored in 2007. I really appreciate people that appreciate Americana and preserve it. The Safari Motel originally opened in 1959. It's very quirky and it was very popular. You can't go wrong with a camel in the lobby. Another blast from the past motel. The Roadrunner Lodge was the La Plaza Motel in 1947. It's been restored to a 1960s theme. They even have those magic fingers machines, which I'm old enough to remember. You'd put coins into a little box, and it would vibrate the bed like you were getting a massage. It was bizarre, but fun. This grocery store has an epic mural. I said this is a sorry looking town yesterday when I drove through, but Tucumcari is not that sorry.